Alrighty, welcome into another Final Fantasy XIV crafting video. We are here running the Epistles craft, which is the weaver, carpenter, and leatherworker. I have chosen a better method to do it this time, and you shall see. You ready for more work? I was just thinking about the wonderful job you did when the with the Pelu tome. Not only did locally sourced materials enhance the binding's quality from without, it served as an immersive preview for the myths within, and I intend to have us continue this trend. With Moblin's tales next on the agenda, we want to make use of materials from Kozumuwaka. Of course, Hanu also make home in that region, so take care to differentiate between their cultures. Tradesmen of your discern should have little difficulty, I'm sure. Let me know when you've prepared the components. Got it, sweetie. So, I was very smart about it this time. So we'll go to their... I'll show you what I decided to do. To save time, wobbling cover components. This one's a specialty one. But this one here, what I decided to do is actually collect the materials ahead of time and craft them up. So now all I gotta do is just craft them. So like, these materials come from different areas. Because like the Brock's leather, that one's actually from Yachtel. Mountain linen is in the over by the Moblins, and then ginseng. No, mountain linen is in. I forgot the locations. Okay, so I'll show you here. We'll go to gathering log. It'll be much easier. None of them are here. Nothing for these guys are here. So. Ginseng log is in Kozumuwaka. Right up down over here. So that's Earthenshire. Many Fires, just south of Many Fires by the dock is where you'll find the ginseng log. The mountain flax, Yurkopacha, way over here, by where you do trial number 3. Number 1. Trial number 1. That's where that one actually is located. And then we'll have to bring it up on map because it's in Tural. Tural, Yachtel, and the Brocks are up here. They're the saber-toothed tiger looking animals. But there, you can also go to the gemstone trader here and buy the leather for gemstones as well. So that is your options. But since I crafted the base before, here we just have to quickly craft out 6 of them. No, I'll have to do 1. Guess we'll do food after this. You'll craft everything up first. And not having to go gather everything and craft is actually saving time, so. So, we have all of these. We'll get homeboy to come over and share his moblin stories with us. As promised, tonight I bring a number of tales from the Moblins. Theirs is a unique culture, as varied as its peculiar... Forgive me for interrupting, Samawini, but won't you be seated? Oh, pardon me. I meant to say something earlier, but at the restaurant we usually recite our stories while standing. Is that so? Perfectly fine, of course. Just so long as you are comfortable. When I say the word moblin, what do you paint in your mind's eye? A mask, a pack, or perhaps something more notable, a pot? Once upon a time, a group of moblins grew tired of wandering the countryside. They wanted a place to call home, so they settled down in caves beneath the earth. They scavenged for what they needed and packed their necessities into large clay pots. Their new home was happy and their pots were plentiful. Too plentiful. Soon their caves grew cramped and narrow. They took out their picks and dug deeper, hoping to expand their domain. Expand they did. Theirs would become one of the largest underground cities of its time. Why are they sitting in pots? Yet their prosperity would be short-lived. The moblins dug their tunnels so deep and so far, they unwittingly breached the gap between land and ocean. Oh, okay, that's why they're in pots. The money deluge devoured their city. Even their own masks turned against them, filling with water, threatening to suffocate them. In a desperate bid to escape with their lives, the moblins threw themselves into their pots and prayed they might see the coming dawn. The pots withstood the terrible tides, and once the moblins clawed their way to solid ground, they swore never again to live beneath it. So it was that they built a new village in the jungle, fashioning their houses and workshops after the pots that saved both their lives and prized possessions. As for the city lost beneath the earth, though its location has long been forgotten, they say it slumbers still in some remote corner of Tural, the sunken city of Mobilepolis. That would be like a really cool thing to go to, or like have around the patches or something like that, where we've got to go find Mobilepolis. There is our third epistle. Incredible. I feel it fits the image of the story perfectly. I was moved by the moment the desire to safe and comfortable home resonated. Well, I have a house in game, so I was moved by the moblins' resilience. As was I. They managed to shape their environment to suit their needs, whereas I still struggle to adapt to life here in Tural. Many old Turali stories tell of how our peoples first came upon their current homes. The Hanu Hanu tale I shared previously was much the same. My family loves sharing those sort of tales. What about yours, Pemeka? I was born and raised in Tulial, so I never given my ancestry much consideration. I never thought to ask. How many stories have I failed to hear? And about my own ancestors, no less. It seems I have my own digging to do. If there are untold tales out there, then I wish to know about them. And I would love to hear them, or even read them, perhaps. I've grown more confident in my letters these days, so I'm keen to practice with more stories. I hope you find what you're looking for. Interesting. I mean, I do know a lot of people that don't look in their history, or that we are now a talented tellbinder. But there is, yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that don't always look into their history and learn their past. Not saying I'm one of them, but I kind of suck at it. My family does. They keep books and stuff and stories, and they do a good job. I just don't. Gâteau au chocolat. Chocolate. What is gâteau? Is that a tart? Are we having a tart? G-A-T-E-A-U. E-A-U. A rich cake, typically one containing layers of cream or fruit. A chocolate cake. We are getting chocolate cake out of this one. I wonder which craft that is. Which level? Must be at the bottom of the 95s. Yep, right there. Gâteau au chocolat. Chocolat. Whatever. It's chocolate cake. Just don't eat it for breakfast. After hearing Demowini's talk of ancestral tales, I can't help but wonder what my own family may have preserved from generations past. I nearly finished my work for today, so I'll close up shop and go to speak with my parents. They should be able to point me in the right direction, even if it requires an excursion beyond the city limits. Should it come to that, your company would be much appreciated. I rarely leave the city, you see. You got it, sweetie. I can be your travel buddy. Thank you. I'll plan to meet you at Wawaya Plaza once my family chat is finished. The what? Where are we going? Okay, we're going up there. Bright bloom. Ugh. Apologies for the wait. My parents were happy to share what they knew about my ancestors. They said our family came to Tural from when the city was founded, so around my great-grandfather's time. We originally hailed from Tural. Just beyond that, neither of my parents could say. Wonder if I might find some clues or mementos buried in a family storehouse, and like I said, I chanced upon a mysterious stone tablet inscribed with glyphs. Judging by its age, it may well have belonged to my great-grandfather himself. We know he was employed at as a palace attendant, but he never divulged more of his work than that. The glyphs resemble those in the Tural saga. Perhaps a Yakoi will be able to read it. They do seem to be an example of Yakoi pictorial storytelling, just like the pillars in Maro's Measure. Although I believe the Tural saga was illustrated more to Mamalja's taste. Why don't we pay the Yakoi a visit then? Perhaps someone would be kind enough to translate the tablet for us. Would you accompany me to Warlord's Echo, KS-Fire? Yeah, I got a lot of buddies out there. We can go visit them. Wonderful. Then let's be off. Need to fix this first. Those gaps are driving me nuts. Oh no, agency number's not used. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Warlord's Echo. Palmeca. Oh, Palmeca, where are you? There you are. So, this is where the Yakoi live. Already I see glyphs carved in the same manner as my tablet. I believe we're on the right track. Let's circle around and see if we can't find someone willing to help. I'll let you take the lead. You have far more practice in communicating with the Yakoi than I do, after all. Palmeca is going to accompany us. See, the company ones, especially after they fixed a lot of them, the issues with them, they're so much better now. And it's a young Yakoi, he's not going to be able to read it. Your ancestor's tablet. I can only spare a moment, but I'm glad to oblige. Relatively new, dated just 80 years past. The bearer of this stone is a retainer of the Dawn Servant, and may thus be accommodated as a guest. A residential permit, it would seem. In those days, the scars of war were still fresh. One could not travel as freely as today, so the tablet may have been a necessary precaution. Where are you, quest person? Oh. This guy's a severe Yakoi. All this way for a tablet. How very quaint. Fine. Hand it over. From Tural, yes. Well, let's skip the obvious parts. Here we have the creation of a new alphabet by a traveling man, a learner of Turali cultures. Makes sense to me, but that's what it says. Interesting. Let's see where the circle thing is. Or square. Circle. It's Garfurler. They say that is where Valagamanda was sealed. That tells these walls could tell the sky of the sky ruin. But every building has a story to tell, if you think about it. Take ancient rules, for example. Scholars have spent centuries piecing together the stories of ancient civilizations from beneath the rubble. Even without the written world, we can still weave a tangible history, though I simply can't imagine a world without writing. Hey look, that guy's like me. He's a drowsy Yakoi. Reading something? Of course. But do keep in mind, I am in dire need of a nap. It looks like the original owner of this tablet shared your keen interest in our glyphs. We came here to hold council with our stonemasons. All Yokoi learn to write, but they are experts who etch our histories into stone. As far as our guests learned from the stonemasons, I couldn't say. Too sleepy. Now to piece together the full story. My great-grandfather received permission to live among the Yakoi in his capacity as the Dawn Servant's retainer. He was traveling the continent of Tural in order to create a new alphabet, and he expressed eager interest in the Yakoi's glyphs. Since the tablet itself was relatively new, perhaps we can still find a stonemason who spoke with my great-grandfather 80 years ago. Shall we go and see? Oink. Oink. There's only two of them here. Oh, here we go. Why, yes. I have served as a stonemason these 80 years. How can I help you? Can you tell me about this tablet? And my grandfather, great-grandfather. Yes, I remember. Not long after Tulial's founding, a man bearing this tablet came to stay with us. So my great-grandfather really did come here to study Yakoi glyphs, yes? Do you remember why? He was developing a new alphabet, as I recall, one to transcribe the Turali we speak today. Back then, Gul Jaja had only just succeeded in creating a united Tulial. People from diverse nations amassed at the capital, and the ensuing linguistic misunderstandings caused no little amount of trouble. As your great-grandfather told it, when the common language of Turali was adopted, he proposed that a new alphabet carrying the alphabet to be created to accompany it. And the non-servant turned him down in favor of adapting foreign characters. Not only that, but the Dawn servant then ordered him to journey on a journey of Tural, upon which he was to study the continent's myriad cultures. After touring a number of communities, he stopped here to understand our ways. What he wished to learn wasn't simply how to read our glyphs. He asked tirelessly about our intentions when shaping the stone. We decided our designs and each step in the process of sculpting. Then one day, your great-grandfather turned to us and said he finally understood the Dawn servant's reason for rejecting his proposal. Soon after, he returned to Tulial, full of new confidence. I had no idea my great-grandfather had direct dealings with Gul Jaja, but I believe I understand why they both concluded a new alphabet wasn't necessary. Is that so? Then tell me, child, why do you think that is? Turali is a language that exists solely for the purpose of communication. It has no cultural connection to any one of Tural's people. But a new alphabet would have been a communal creation, a new piece of Turali culture that might have had the power to overwrite others. Borrowing the foreign Eorzean alphabet allows Turali to remain a borrowed language, a language of convenience. By refusing to establish Turali as a language created by and for all Turali people, the Dawn Servant sought to protect our cultural diversity. That's why I think he rejected the proposal. After my great-grandfather traveled the land and arrived here to see your glyphs, he must have finally realized the full significance of his alphabet, and the beauty we might stand to lose because of it. This tablet must have meant a great deal to him. It seems you too now carry on your great-grandfather's discovery and his story. You're right, my great-grandfather's story, a story of my people. I must pen this tale right away, Caspar. May I ask you to bind it for me? No problem, sweetie. Alright. Go back to Tural. Tural. Wait. Hold on. Oh, she was hiding from me. Little rascal. I want this book to represent the significance of my great-grandfather's connection to Yakoi culture. So binding it with local stone would be preferable. You'll find plenty of that right here. Take as much as you need. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I never travel without pen and paper, but this time I even brought my portable desk in case my search for stories proved fruitful. If you could prepare the binding while I write, I would be much obliged. This time, so the thing with this one, and the way I knew, is like when you're looking at these, one, they got the collectible marker underneath them, but these ones, you just have one, and it's a specialized name. And so these are usually specialized items. Sore muscles. And I'm tired. $98 and $100 are the last two. I want this binding to properly symbolize my great-grandfather's bond with the Yakoi. Take all the time you need and return to me when your work is done. Sweetie, I already got it. Ooh, this one's pretty. A written account of my forebear's story. A precious book indeed. I also included text about the Yakoi, though using prose to depict your people felt somehow inappropriate. So I also included illustrations, clumsy though my hands might be, pictures of the stone monuments and pillars, things my great-grandfather must have seen. I see. In your own way, you honor how we Yakoi tell our stories with images. That is a very kind gesture. The written word cannot express all things. This is my great-grandfather's lesson. You have been most gracious with your help. Thank you. I return to Tural with a lighter, prouder heart. So long, big buddy. New buddy. Ugh. That one was a pretty good tome there. Those guys name themselves tacos. Can we eat them? I've seen them around. If you haven't seen them with their FC tag, they've been around. Oh look, there's a bloody. My great-grandfather's story is now part of my own. I would say our trip was well worth it. I think I'll lend Semowini the book we made, since he expressed an interest in practicing his skills on the new tells. Besides, I think the illustrations might make an easier reading experience. it was his petition that started the whole project after all. I do hope he enjoys it. And I owe you my deepest thanks, Chaosfire. Not only were you kind enough to accompany me to Warler's Echo, but you gave me pretty much perhaps your most stunning cover yet. Now it's back to work for me. Until Zemowini's next appointment approaches, I wish you pleasant crafting. We have chocolate cake. What's that do? Ever greater, ever brighter. Got a good ways to go. I wonder if the script exchange has opened up now. No, it still hasn't. Well, thanks for coming along in another 14 video, crafting video. This is, I like the doing the craft ahead of time, at least the base items. That way it does kind of make it a little quicker when we get down to it. So, that's how I'll be doing them in all the crafting ones from now on. So, but thanks for coming along, and we'll see you in the next one.